For the past 34 years, she has been working in the water and sanitation sector as a trainer, lecturer, and engineer on various projects. She is a member of Women in Engineering, a network of female engineers working to inspire female students to take up higher education in science and technology and to motivate young female engineers. She started off her career at the Department of Civil Engineering, KNUST, as a lecturer, training experts for undergraduate students and practitioners in the water and sanitation sector. She later joined the Community Water and Sanitation Agency in 1997 as water and sanitation engineer involved in the provision of water and sanitation facilities, stations, communities, and small towns in the Greater Accra region. In 2009, she was appointed the Regional Director for Greater Accra region. She is currently a director at the head office in charge of special projects. She holds an MBA from the School of Business, UCC, an MSc Environmental Engineering from the Imperial College, University of London, and a BSc Civil Engineering from the KNUST. It will interest you to know that when she writes about her engineering career, she speaks of being pushed into it by her teachers and inspired by her late father, may Allah be pleased with her soul, whose mantra was, and I quote, "Whatever a man can do, a woman can do it even better." Without much I say, I introduce to you Hajia Safurat Muhammad Andani.
Please. It should be more louder, please. Thank you very much. Hajia will please give us her response.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I deem it a great pleasure to be asked to chair the function for today's event. I've known my sister Samiha for a short while, but in the short while that I've known her, I've seen her as a very prolific writer. I've read a few of her books, which are very inspiring for young Muslim and other young children. And as I said, it's a great pleasure. I wish to crave your indulgence and with the blessings of Allah, wish to steer this affair to a successful conclusion. Thank you very much. Once again, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much. A round of applause one more time. When an individual is worth celebrating, you can't hide that. You heard Ajia say she's read the books of our author, and it's inspiring for both young and adults. And I'm sure as parents that we are here, we'll try as much as we can to patronize her previous works and what we are all here for. But you get some few stuffs of the books when it's time for our reviewers to go through the books. But before that, I need to acknowledge the presence of our very own father, brother, and some of you here will refer to him as your friend. This gentleman is an astute politician. He has rose through the ranks. He was actually born in Tamale, and after they gave birth to him, you know, his parents as Muslims, we always believe in education. He did his O-level at Boku, and then he did his A-level at the Tamale Senior High School. This gentleman didn't stop there. As young as he was, very energetic, he said, no, I need to go higher. He gained admission at the University of Cape Coast in 1991. And interestingly, this young gentleman did the best he can. And in his school days, he was not just an ordinary student on campus. He served in leadership positions as the SRC president. And he was also the GIMSA president during his days. And to add to that, this gentleman, when he graduated, he didn't say, oh, I've just had my degree, so that's it. No, he needed to go further. He was able to get his MPhil in religious studies at the same University of Cape Coast. He didn't stop there. He said, I need to go further. He got his PhD in religious studies at the same university. He didn't stop there. He has Masters of Law in Energy. This man has done so much when it comes to the political landscape. Some years ago, you see him in the front line trying to speak and make sure his voice is heard. He's not the type who will just be at one corner. No, he always wants to make sure he contributes. He played a significant role during the campaign for 2016 election, and in 2017, when the MPP government came into office, trust me, such a brilliant young man has to be given a portfolio that befits his qualification. He was made the Minister of Information from 2017 to 2018. The president said, no, you have an Herculean task to handle. Where can I make you do that very well? He was sent to the Minister of Inner City and Zongo Development, the Ministry for Inner City and Zongo Development. He did his best from 2017 to 2021. Then the president said, no, you still have to do much for this country. You can't just be around. Let me put you at a place where you can better serve this country. That was when he was made the CEO for National Petroleum Authority. But this gentleman, when he was the Minister of Information, he was not just the Minister of Information, he was the spokesperson for presidential, he was the presidential spokesperson at the government seat. This gentleman has achieved a lot. And in his daily life, he has individuals who call him different names. Colleagues of here will refer to him as Aboki, and others refer to him as Starboy. But I will refer to him as Sheikh. Ladies and gentlemen, with a very big round of applause, let's acknowledge our guest of honor, Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid. He will have his time, but I just want him to say something.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. As you said, I'll have my time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We move straight to the first book review. And this is where I call on our clinical psychologists to do justice to the first book we have, that is The Mourning Birds. It will be done by Dr. Nasiba Tairu. A round of applause to Dr. A round of applause, a round of applause. Sorry, her review is Who Pays My Mom? Who Pays My Mom? Thank you very much.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله حمد الشاكرين. We thank Allah, the Almighty, the most gracious, the most merciful, for this wonderful day to share with our sister and give her support as she launches this series of books. And I'm happy that a lot of parents are here with us today. As we all leave, we try to pick copies as much as we can to share with our kids, and their friends as well. And I think as parents, we can use it to have a relaxation. My review is on Who Pays My Mom. When Samiha sent me the book, I was very, very excited about it, and I love the unique presentation throughout the book. The book has 29 pages and it's children's book. It is a heartwarming tale that challenges prejudice. Who Pays My Mom is a delightful and thought-provoking book that tackles societal biases against stay-at-home mothers. The story follows a young boy who defends his mom fearlessly. He defends his mom's hard work and dedication to their family, highlighting the various roles she plays at home as a nurse, a mom, a doctor, a gardener, all the multi-task role mothers play at home. It is an inspiring appreciation of an unpaid caregiver. The book shines a light on often overlooked value of caregiving and domestic work that mothers play, encouraging children to appreciate the efforts of their parents or guardians. The protagonist's love and understanding of his mother's contribution make for a touching narrative. It's engaging and very, very interactive. The book features an engaging storyline, relatable character, and an interacting coloring section that summarizes the story. This format makes it an excellent tool for teaching children about empathy, appreciation, and challenging gender stereotypes. I highly recommend Who Pays My Mom to children and adults alike. It's a captivating read that sparks essential conversation about the importance of caregiving and the value of unpaid work. Samiha Sulleyman's book is a must-read for everyone looking for a heartwarming story that challenges societal norms. Thank you very much.
A round of applause one more time. As she said, it is a book for every family to do their best to have it, for our kids to be able to go through and learn a lot. Quickly, let's move to the next item, that is the morning birds. Amazing Grace Danso, is she around? Please, a round of applause to Madam Amazing Grace Danso. Earlier, when I saw the name Amazing, I wanted to start singing Amazing, but I realized I don't have good voice. A round of applause one more time to Madam.
Thank you. Salam alaikum. I hope I did that right. As you can get from my name, I was raised in a different faith tradition. I was raised a Christian, so it is actually quite a special treat for me to be here today reviewing one of Samiha's books. Samiha, I'm meeting her for the first time in person at this very occasion. We've actually been friends online, and she follows me quite a bit. Every book review I do, she is quick to like and comment on it. So I found that a very big privilege for her to invite me to review The Morning Birds. When she sent me the book, I was like, wow, I think she intentionally chose that particular book for me because it has themes that I am known for discussing on my blog, which is the theme of grief. I and the main child character in this book have something in common. I don't want to spoil the story, but I also feel like I have to connect to what I have to say. We both lost our moms, so reading it, I was like, wow, this hits close to home. And I love that you wrote something like this for children, because often when children lose their parents or loved ones, our society doesn't really help them process it. So it was very, very special to see that represented on the page and to have all the themes that come out of that highlighted. One of the things I loved about the mother was her kindness, her compassion, her determination, and her commitment to her traditional practices of every day feeding birds and passing that on to her child. And I think that is so beautiful because it reminds me of my mother and how she always stressed the importance of compassion, being kind to all nature, not just human beings. So I loved the Mourning Birds for that. It was quite imaginative. There are some very nice surprises in there that I don't want to tell you. You have to get the book and read it. But there's something very special with the birds. The imagination is out there, and I think your kids will really, really enjoy it. So please don't buy one copy. Don't buy two. Buy 10 or more, because you shouldn't give it to just your children, but everyone in your community. And that's another thing she did that was so special with this book. She highlighted the importance of community and everybody coming around to support the children in the community. So Samiha, congratulations on that. And I also want to say one last thing before I go. This is very special to me because growing up, I did not read anything from a Muslim writer as a child. In this country, I was raised in Tema, Accra, went to school and everything. We're introduced to foreign fairy tales, Cinderella, Snow White, what have you. And when it came to the local stories, it was overly represented by people from my community, and I didn't get to read anything from a Muslim writer. So I think what you're doing is so, so important and so crucial. Please do not stop writing. Write as much as you can. Publish all the books. I would like to see your books in every school in Ghana, not just in Accra, all over the country. And I feel like there's so much beauty in our diversity and being able to appreciate one another's backgrounds and cultures. So thank you so much for having me. And I hope you buy The Mourning Birds and all the other books being launched today. And another thing about The Mourning Birds, I loved the 5 activities that were at the end. They help you summarize the book, and they help your children to retain what they've learned. So without further ado, I think that's all from me, and I hand over the mic back to you.
Thank you very much. She's really amazing. A round of applause one more time. I think we just have to encourage our sister to make sure, as Madam Amazing just mentioned, the book should be available everywhere so that you don't have an excuse to say, oh, I went to this bookshop, I didn't get. Inshallah, we'll make sure it will be in every bookshop so parents can easily get those books. Thank you very much. Quickly, we move to the next book review, which will be done by our brother, the security analyst, the security consultant, the indefatigable brother Alhaj Irbad Ibrahim, to do the book review for Windiya, the window bird. A round of applause to Alhaj Irbad Ibrahim.
Where do I start? I acknowledge my teacher, Muallim Honorable Mustafa Hamid. I continue, just like many other people here, to learn from him. And I also acknowledge a chairperson, an academic, a woman I meet quite often in my area of activism. But I'm not too sure whether I can follow suit with the brevity that has been exhibited by my mothers and aunties, that have come. So kindly bear with me. Where do I start? I knew Samiha, our wife and author, before I knew our lawyer, her husband. I'm proud of Samiha on multiple levels. Samiha is somebody I hold in so much respect and confidence. We were in the University of Ghana together 15 years ago. My current wife, I love her so much and I'm proud of her. But just like any young person getting out of uni 12 years ago, the lady I wanted to marry, I needed clearance from only one person, and that was from Samiha. But sadly, it didn't go through. I couldn't marry the lady. the sister of Dr. Montacarlo. Then Faisal, I joke with Faisal all the time. Samiha would recite very beautiful poems for us, and I knew a lot of young Muslims were interested in her. So I keep asking Faisal, and I still do, how did he win Samiha? So congratulations, and I'm happy this particular one is dedicated to Faisal Ibrahim Sisi Esquire, her husband, and also her father, who came in a while ago. Samiha is a privileged mother. She's a privileged wife. She grew up around books. The last book review I did was Al-Jannatu Tahta Aqdami al-Ummahat, Paradise Under the Feet of Mothers. And Samiha's eloquent and educated father was a speaker at that event. A daughter to a scholar, a wife to a scholar, whose boss is a scholar, a husband who built a career around books. What else do you expect, ladies and gentlemen? And so therefore, we are very proud of Samiha, and the sky is only the limits. The literary work, Windiya, is an imaginary fiction with loads of lessons for kids and a thoughtful recreational escape for adults who would want to read this book. Very colorful and insightful. It is the most elaborate of the three books. I heard the first reviewer say the book she reviewed, the professor from the University of Ghana, is a 29-pager. I don't know about the second one, but this is a 50-pager. It is beautifully laid out in 11 chapters, and at the tail end, it has comprehension questions and word simplification for kids. The author plays with words in terms of the title by using Arabization to give an anglicized meaning to the very same word, Windiya, the window girl. Chapter 1 mirrors a setting that has become commonplace in many African communities today. A little girl who was so bubbly, but growing up in a checkered household where she was a daughter to a firewood seller. The odds were all stacked up against her. It plateaus beautifully to open a setting where life begins to get better, but anticlimaxes at a point where opportunity does not provide her the things she wishes for in life. Chapter 2. Chapter 2 talks about the struggles of a widow. Windiya wanted to attend an Ivy League school, but her mother could not afford. So they kept on moving from one Saito school to another until they got to the 10th, which was a compromised choice for both mother and child. Then our author delves beautifully into chapter 3 that talks about our crave for what we can't get. Even though growing up as children, there were things we wanted which our parents could afford, Windiya's mother couldn't afford anything beyond the meats she could eat for the day. So the school she wanted, Shining Star, was too Ivy for the league of Windiya, and therefore she didn't attend it. Just as she was reminiscing over her loss, chapter 4 gives us a moral that where there is despair, God always opens an opportunity for people. This very chapter has a moral that when you sacrifice and volunteer, eventually doors of opportunity will open for you. Windiya crossed paths with the cook of the school and decided to volunteer in the kitchen. Day after day, Windiya got the opportunity to sneak from a window while the Dadabi children were learning. Chapter 5. Windiya's curiosity and unalloyed confidence made her friends with the librarian for the community. Ladies and gentlemen, environment is everything. When you grow in an environment of erudition, an environment where the Quran is recited, an environment where the Bible is recited, it makes an impact on you. She grew up around books and libraries, but sadly, our children today grow up in a corrupt environment of sakawa, shisha joints, and gambling. And it is something this particular chapter talks up against, and we need to work on as a people. You are your environment, and your environment shapes up what you become in future. And therefore, we need to provide a healthy environment for our children. Then chapter 6. Chapter 6 talks about a further deepening of the relationship between Windiya and the librarian. The relationship was so deep, the librarian Mimi took time to become friends with the mother of Windiya, and she gave good counsel about the education of Windiya. Then in chapter 7, our author, through the power of observation, says that Windiya, even though did not have access to this Dadaba school, she took lessons, snippets of lessons while sneaking or peeping from the window. So she took lessons from multiple classes, meaning that her thirst and hunger for knowledge at that tender age were insatiable. Chapter 8. Windiya didn't end there. She kept on pushing. She was only 8, but she was so determined to achieve her educational laurels. Some of the people in the school were impressed by her determination, and they called her the window girl. Others called her derogatory names because she was an intruder. These did not perturb Windiya, and she followed in her pursuit of her dream. Then chapter 9, ladies and gentlemen, talks about success. Success, ladies and gentlemen, is only a crossroad where preparedness meets opportunity. In the world today, we always say we want the best, and we pray about getting the best, but are we prepared when the opportunity presents itself? Success, this chapter tells us, is like rainfall, a providence from God. When rain falls, ladies and gentlemen, those who fix a bucket get rain when the rain ends and there is drought. But the sad reality as Ghanaians is that while it rains, we don't fix a bucket. So eventually, we turn to prayer for success, when in fact, success, according to this chapter, is only a crossroad where opportunity meets your preparedness. When Windiya went further, she spent more time in the library. So as if that was not enough, she peeped through the window and still took lessons from the library, and eventually became more prepared than the elitist children that were being taught in the Shining Star School. Chapter 9, ladies and gentlemen, you will love chapter 9. Chapter 9 talks about Windiya's further fights, delving into chapter 10, where our author keeps us in suspense about a beautiful day that would take place in the school. It was a speech and prize-giving day, and the speech and prize-giving day was to be attended by the imaginary Minister for Education for the country where Kojokurum, the setting of this story, took place. Chapter 10, fellow worshippers, is a cliffhanger. It will keep you excited as you read word after word in chapter after chapter. Windiya had been forgotten, but Windiya was preparing for the big day. The Minister of Education attended the event. Windiya didn't have good clothes to wear. As the daughter of a widowed mother, a single mother who was selling firewood, you could tell she was in tattered clothing all the time. But as the speech and prize-giving day approached, chapter 11 says, Windiya had assistance from her mother, Madam Roki, Auntie Roki, the cook at the Ivy League school, and then Mimi, the librarian. So she got on some nice clothes to put on. And when she got to the grounds, she hadn't been registered, she didn't have an address, she wasn't a member of the school community, so she had to stand. So Windiya, after the minister had done her presentation, asked, if anybody had a question, the Dadabi children were seated all there. And what happens to the children of poor people is that they grow with inferiority complex. Ladies and gentlemen, regardless of our economic situation, let's give room for our children to express themselves. Let's give room for our children to exhibit the talents they have. Despite these challenges, Windiya raised her hand and wanted to say something to the minister. She was only 8. She offered to present a poem. Unbeknownst to the people, Windiya was taking 3 class sessions, one peeping from the window, another from the library, and a third from her mother. That is why in training a child, in parenting, what happens in our schools are as important as what we teach our children at home. Her mother taught her confidence, and that was what she exhibited on that day. Our author, Samiha, says in this chapter, Windiya presented a beautiful poem, much to the amazement of the minister. So the minister was impressed. Then the minister was told, after all, the girl who performed is the daughter of a poor single mother. She's not even a member of this school. So the minister was so impressed. And what did the minister do in return? The minister offered to provide Windiya a protagonist and character scholarship in that school which she craved for. And that scholarship wouldn't end there until the university level. May we give her a round of applause. To sum this book up in conclusion, fellow attendees of this program, the Bible says that the stone that the builders rejected eventually becomes the cornerstone. Our wife, I believe, has done a very good job on this, and I believe this book should be on our shelves, both at home and in our elementary schools. Let's teach these books and the values they convey to our children at home, and let's teach them these values in school. It's a best reader, and I'm proud I have a copy, and I'm proud I've reviewed it, and I'll recommend it to everybody who is seated here. Windiya, the Window Girl. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Alhaj Ibrahim. A round of applause one more time. Very eloquent. Okay, now I'm sure he has said it all. This is one of the books. We still have another one going. This should tell you that our sister has been a prolific writer, and she will keep writing and writing and writing. But then the only thing that makes her continue doing that is when we, the individuals, do everything we can to patronize and make sure the books are everywhere in our homes. That will be an encouragement for her. I asked her some of her books. She said it's out of stock, and I said that is good news. When your books are out of stock, it means you always have to be writing or always have to be printing. It means she's doing well, but we need to push and make sure everybody has a copy. Now, we need some few, well, she herself, she's a poet, and she speaks very good Arabic. That is one thing I don't know. She will come later on that level. But then we have some young ladies to give us some few poem recital. We have Hamdiya Ahmed. Where is she? Hamdiya Ahmed. Please a round of applause to that young lady. She is a class 6 student. You're going to do it together with your sister, or you do it alone? You're going to do it with her. Okay, that is Ramziya Moro. She is a class 4 student. Is that correct? Are you in class 6? You are in class 4. Okay, and you are in class 6. Okay, I use their heights to determine their classes, which is just my choice. And they are from Fruitful Tree School. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let's welcome our sister Hamdia Ahmed and Ramziya Moro. Here you are. Center. Okay, take the microphone. You share the mics, okay?
Assalamu alaikum. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. My name is Samiha Ahmed. And mine is Ramziya Umar. The name of our school is Preparatory School. The title of our book is Windiya the Windiya. I look at the children walk to school in their uniforms every morning, and I wonder why not to. Is it a crime to not have a father? Is it a crime for my mother to be poor? Is it a crime for poor to want to have education?
Well, maybe it is the crime that we are poor.
But it is a crime of the society that we remain poor, because the society has decided to deny us education.
I do not have to accept just anything because my mother is poor. I made the window my best companion. When privileged children mock me and make me feel worthless.
I made the window my best companion because it was the window that gave me access to education.
It was the window that gave me the ability to see a teacher teach.
It was only the window that understood me.
It was only the window that tolerated my poverty.
It was only the window that helped me to learn without rejecting me.
It was only the window that did not call me dirty poor girl. We are proud to be Windiya the window girl. Yes, because with the help of the window, I learned ABC.
With the help of the window, I can sing a lot of rhymes.
With the help of the window, I can spell words and add numbers.
With the help of the window, I can dance my cultural dance.
The only thing the window could not give was a table and a chair to sit on. At our age, we still 6 hours to learn every day, and we have no regrets. With the help of Auntie Mimi the librarian, I found hope.
With the help of Auntie Mimi the librarian, I became confident enough to stand in front of you to speak.
Auntie Akos, thank you for giving us the window.
Madam Minister,
we have only one question for you.
Is quality education a right or a privilege? And why can't the poor children have one?
Thank you.
Wow. Wow. I'm sure these kids need a lot of encouragement, and may the Almighty Allah bless their parents and then the school they are attending for training these kids to give us a very exciting poem. Let's quickly go to the next item. That is the review for the Mourning Birds, one of the books to be launched today. This is going to be done by our research fellow, who is currently a research fellow at African Studies, University of Ghana, Legon, and his research spans in areas like religion and politics, as well as security. This gentleman holds a lot of degrees, but one of the special degrees he had was from the Middle East Technical University in Ankara, and he also has a lot when it comes to security to deliver to us. So sometimes, as I told you, if you want to know this gentleman, after the program, after he does this, when you speak to him, you will see how deep he is. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let's welcome our Dr. Ahmed Mustafa Badawi. A round of applause. He will be doing the Mourning Birds.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam tasliman kathira. I'll first of all acknowledge the chair, Madam Chair, and our guest speaker, and all other special guests. I would like to first of all start by congratulating my sister, the author, for achieving this feat. Writing 5 solid books for children in her name is no mean an achievement, and I congratulate her on that. Let's give her a round of applause. As most of us here, I also personally look forward to more books from her, and not just more books, but to see the books digitized and incorporated in most of the English language teaching and learning materials, not only in Ghana, but across the globe. And I think that I can see a lot of potential. I have been privileged to have handled some other readers in other contexts, and some of them do not have the message that I have seen in at least the book I have reviewed. And we really need to encourage our sister to move on. I have a very straightforward task today, which is to review one of the books, as the MC has indicated, The Mourning Birds. And interestingly, I'm supposed to do that in a few minutes, and I'll try to do just that, because if we are going to review the book in details, I think we will spend the whole day here, but I'll try to just do it as brief as possible. And I think that's good. Alhaji Irbad has been so generous to give you so much information. I wouldn't do that. You'll finish off by buying the book and finishing it home, so that I'll give you some gist here and there. Yeah, so I was thinking about how easily to do this, and I came out with a way to, first of all, look at the title of the book, then look at the content of the book within the context of some basic literary pieces. Now, when you look at the title of the book, The Mourning Birds, it has succeeded in attracting the attention of young and conditioned mind in many ways. Now, if a young reader whose vocabulary is not there reads the title, what may come to mind is the surprise with respect to the different spelling this particular morning has. Because this particular morning actually has a U, and which will be a very curious thing for the young mind to question. Because I know the morning as in sunrise without you, but how come there is you in this one? And I think this will be an interesting entry point for any adult nearby, whether parents or teacher, to sort of engage such a kid with issues regarding homophones and words and all that. Another aspect of the title, interestingly, is the fact that if you read the title for a young reader whose vocabulary is a bit up, is to think about the fact that the mourning birds, is it about a kind of taxonomy in ornithology about birds that the book is going to talk about? Is it classification of bird? Or in ordinary day-to-day setting, is it that the book is telling us birds actually mourn? You know? So, in a nutshell, when we look at the title of the book, it has succeeded using very few words to attract the attention of the reader, young minds in many ways. Of course, perhaps adults as well. And this is really a great thing, I think, with respect to the title. Now, quickly on the content within some basic elements of literary piece, I would like to start with the plot. And as I said, I wouldn't give everything, but I'll just try to give some, bits and pieces. Now, the few introductory sentences did not only succeed in introducing the plot, but also succeeded in at once leading the reader to a beautiful setting of the story and introducing the main character. It also succeeded in uplifting the mood of the reader in a very positive way through a very skillful combination of nature, kindness, and love. Apart from the fact that the rising action of the story in terms of introducing angry Joanna, you'll find out who that is in the story, and kind Mama Tessie, which is superbly done, it was interesting for me as a reader to realize later in the story that the author was in fact actually nurturing these characters to fully evolve as antagonists and protagonists going forward in the story. The climax of the story, as if by coincidence, appeared to have been intentionally matched with Mary in the Sky. I don't know if you have ever seen a Mary in the Sky, so the book will tell you how come Mary is in the sky. And the real pain, which my sister who reviewed the book earlier mentioned about the pain aspect. As both chapters matches the spike of a climax in the story and succeeds in making the reader wonder what really comes next. Now, in between the falling action of the story and the resolution, which is the end of the story, is full of mysteries, beauty, intrigue, determination, perseverance, and hope. This is just a gist of the plot, as I mentioned. To make a complete sense of all that I've said, you need to go home with not just one copy, but copies of the book. Now, I would like to briefly talk about characters and conflicts in the story. The characterization in the story is well crafted and very well thought out to carefully integrate well the conflict in the story. Now, the conflicting actions of Mary, the main character, Mama Tessie, her mother, and others on the one side, and that of angry Auntie Joanna, is intentionally set against each other to imbibe in young minds who will engage with this story some valuable, universal core values. And this actually leads me to the themes and seams of the story. Now, the story has countless themes, but one thing that connects the themes is, interestingly, it's not surprising actually, because if you look at the background of the author, it tells, because the writing of an author actually tells you something about the background. Now, let me just give you a gist of some of the themes you are to encounter in the story. Now, the importance of education, which has been highlighted by previous reviewers. This was a theme that ran through the story. Caring for orphans, kindness towards parents, kindness towards animals, feeding the hungry, forgiveness, and many more. And the interesting thing about this is that, especially for Muslim parents and Islamic schools, I think that these themes can be used to be integrated with the verses and ahadith that highlight these core values. In a nutshell, from the very first sentence of the book to the very last, there isn't a boring moment, which is very important for every story to be successful. Now, there is this supposedly amateurish speech given by Mary, the main character in the speech, which ordinarily should be boring, but even that is not boring. I am very privileged to have reviewed the book, and I highly recommend it to parents and our institutions to add it to their reading list, and especially as a reading list, I'll be glad to support with respect to how to infuse it in the classroom setting. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you very much. A round of applause one more time. A quick correction. He actually had his PhD at the University of Middle East and Middle East Technical University. That is where he had the PhD rather. So earlier I said his degree, instead of making it well, mention it exactly. His PhD, that's where he got it. But I'm sure he has said it all, and we are all gathered here for these books. And I'm sure when it's time for us to actually do the we will make sure every parent grabs more than one copy. He says, don't buy one, go for more than 10 so you can share with others. I need to acknowledge the father of our author. Earlier, Alhaji Irbad did give us the sequence of events that the author is a scholar herself. She's married to a scholar, and her father is a scholar. So she finds herself around scholars. And I need to acknowledge Alhaji Sulleyman. Please, a round of applause. Let's acknowledge our father. Alhaj, please, I'm sure the audience will want to see you briefly. If you don't mind, you can please be on your feet so they can see you. Thank you very much. That is the father of the author. Please, you can sit down. Thank you very much, Dad. And later, something would happen. I will not say that one. I will leave that one to the author herself to do that. Okay, this is the climax for the program. I call it the climax because if you have a doctor in religious studies who doubles as the CEO of National Petroleum Authority, with that eloquent in Arabic and English as our guest speaker, I have every right to call his speech the climax of the event. Ladies and gentlemen, with a big round of applause, let's welcome Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid. That is my son, actually. So all of you here, if you don't have a son like him, please try and be thinking of one. But for me, that is my son, and I'm proud to have a father and a son. He is my father, he is my son. Thank you very much, Doc. I've had the occasion to MC 3 different programs, and he was a special guest of Hannah there. So I'm sure there's some connection with me and my father. Thank you very much, Doc.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Madam Chair, directors from the National Petroleum Authority, teachers, students, media people, I greet all of you in the greetings of Islam, saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. First of all, Mr. MC, I'm sure you don't like me. You want me to be dismissed from the National Petroleum Authority. You addressed my HR director as head HR. He's not the head of HR. He's the director of HR. He determines who works at MPA and who doesn't. So, Mr. Jackson, I apologize on behalf of the MC. Now, I am delighted to be here with Samiha. And I'm sure those who know me know that I earn a living by talking. Whether as a teacher or as a politician, I earn a living by talking. And so sometimes it's not in your interest to trust a mic into my hands. But I'll try to be as brief as possible because I have to be running out of here to an airport to catch a plane and to travel. And so I'll try and be brief. Now, I have heard all the summaries and reviews that all your excellent reviewers have given to your books. Even though these books purport to be children's books, from the reviews that I have heard, the lessons that they offer are lessons that will serve every age and every gender. And therefore, they offer very serious lessons that we indeed need to inculcate in our children. The Bible says, teach children the way that they should go, and that when they grow, they shall not depart from it. Part of the reason our societies today have degenerated in the way that they have degenerated is because all of us elders have reneged on our primary duty of teaching children the time-tested values. For those of us who are old, you remember the very basic book called Courtesy for Boys and Girls. I don't know how many children, these school children, have seen a copy of Courtesy for Boys and Girls. But my realization is that the young people of today have completely lost it. And I told a group of people yesterday, if we don't take time, we shall hit rock bottom soon, because we are in a race towards the bottom. We are in a race towards the bottom. And books like this should be what we should try to use as a basis for re-engineering the moral fiber of our society, to quote Jerry Rawlings. Who pays my mom? Oftentimes, yesterday in our mosque at the National Petroleum Authority, we delivered a khutbah on women and the value of women in Islam. Islam is a religion that restored the dignity and value of women. Amidst a pre-Islamic society in Arabia that regarded women as the property of men. Indeed, children who were born female were put to death. It was called female infanticide. Women did not qualify to inherit, and women were rated second-class humans. All of that was reversed by the Quran. And the Quran established equity between men and women. Mind you, I didn't say equality, I said equity. And so, when women labor to keep the household, that labor must be quantified in economic terms. Because for those of us who are capable of hiring domestic servants for our wives, we pay the domestic servants. We pay the domestic servants. And these domestic servants are doing work that our wives would have been doing if we didn't have a domestic servant. So means therefore that a woman's labor in the household must have economic value. And therefore, if it is your wife who is doing these things, in my opinion, you want to quantify the economic value of your wife's labor and pay her You heard me. And pay her, not chop money. And pay her for her labor. Women drop children off at school. And to confess, oftentimes I am guilty. You won't believe it. With my learning and everything, sometimes I have to ask my wife what class my children are in. And I'm sure many men will relate to the matter. Some men don't even know the schools that their children attend. They don't. All we understand is that it is ours to go and labor and bring the chop money, and then we give to the wives. That's all. We don't even know the schools our children attend. Yet, if you hired an Uber driver who drops your children in school and picks them up, you will pay the Uber driver. So if it's your wife who drops and picks them up, that picking and dropping by your wife should be quantified in economic terms, and your wife should be paid for it. Mimbo Hobio. You know, yesterday I was giving an example of a tafsir in which I was. Sheikh Salawati's tafsir. And he was doing a tafsir of Quran 4:1. And where Allah says, men and women demand their rights one of another. And Imam Rashid said, I kunganku ba inda cikin Qur'ani Allah yace mata ya kamata yi dafuwa yi maka dafuwa ka ci ke maka ka dafa ma matanka ta ci. And then the man said, Imam ji tsoron Allah da na kaka bar matan mu su ci. So when Samiha titles the book, Who Pays My Mom? That alone is the subject of a thesis. From just this topic, I can do a research work titled Unpaid Labor Among Muslims Women in Nima. And so we ought to rethink, because women are the majority in society, even in Ghanaian society. I think they're about 51 to 52% of the population. So part of the reason our country may be poor economically, or that our GDP is low, is because nearly 52% of the population is not contributing economically to the kitty. And so we need to think. So that's what I'm saying. You may think you are writing a children's book, but for me as an academic and a scholar and intellectual, I think that you are raising issues that have deeper meaning for the progress and development of our society. And I can congratulate you for that. In the morning birds, you know, for those of us who love football, those days, you know, the commentator, he's still there though, but he's not very active. Kwabena Yaboa. You know, and sometimes he would say something like, and that phrase has stuck in my mind for over 20 years. Accra has a folk, taking inspiration from desperation to make amends. You know, which means they are down, but they are fighting to come back. He calls it taking inspiration from desperation to make amends. And it's the same thing about the child who has lost his or her parents. What a child who has no father and mother ought to do is to take inspiration from desperation. That's what you ought to do. You don't have to let desperation bog you down. People ought to know, and I'll just dovetail straight into Windiya, the window bird. Because the Quran says, لَكَدَ حَلَكْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. Allah says in the Quran, surely, and I like the emphasis on surely. Allah says, surely, we have created you, humans, into toil. Full stop. The verse ends there. One verse. We have created you into toil. So toiling is the essence of life. There are no shortcuts in life. You ought to toil. And so Windiya's condition is the very essence of life. And she never allowed that to bog her down. And I relate to some of the stories of Windiya, and I've said to many platforms about my own story when I was in Boku Secondary School. Sometimes I say it to people and they weep and they don't believe it. And I'll tell you just a part of it. When I was going to Boku Secondary School, and some of my mates may be listening to me now, or they would watch the videos later, and they will tell you my condition in Boku Secondary School. I couldn't even afford money to buy oil for shito. And so my oil was made from shea butter. Wallahi. Shea butter is what they used to make my shito when I was going to Boku Secondary School. So anytime I wanted to eat gari and shito, I would have to walk from Livingston House to the kitchen, which would be a distance of from about here to the traffic light at Kawokudi, to go and melt the shito and walk back to Livingston House before I can dish my shito to eat in Bokusek. There was a day I walked into the classroom and everybody was in stitches. Everybody was laughing. Quack, 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 quack. I didn't understand why they were laughing at me. I was looking around. I didn't understand anything. Nonetheless, I went and sat down. After the lesson, there was some Gan Fulani girl in our class at that time called Rebecca Palm. So after the class, I went to Rebecca Palm and asked her, why were they laughing at me? And she said, the shirt you are wearing is a lady's shirt. Wallahi. When I say it sometimes, I have tears in my eyes. Ladies' shirt. Because at that time, to go to school, I had to go to Abuabo in Tamale, first line, to pick a shirt. I couldn't afford to sew a shirt for Boku Secondary School. And so I didn't know that there was a distinction between lady shirts and men's shirts. Wallahi, I didn't know. I just thought that all shirts be shirts. How? I have suffered to get here. Wallahi. Don't see people and just do them hasada for nothing. Don't do that. Wallahi, don't do that. Don't do that. And so, Windiya has to go through this struggle to be able to get an education. So it is not true that when you are poor, you should drop out of school. Wallahi ba gaskiya bane. It is not true. It is not true. If poverty got people to drop out of school, I would still be at the lorry station in Tamale as a loading boy or something. But I'm chief executive of National Petroleum Authority. Poverty doesn't drop people out of school. Poverty inspires you to go beyond the thing. And talking about Windiya meeting the minister and approaching the minister and all of the things that the children say, that too I relate. In level 100, in University of Cape Coast during the vacation. This is 1992. I was entering level 200. And that's when party politics had just started. You know, they lifted the ban on party politics 18th May 1992. So this was about August, September during the vacation. And I went to Tamale as a level 100 student. And then I went to MPP. People were holding a rally at the Tamale taxi rank. Then I just went and stood there and observed the rally. So after they closed the rally, I approached the late Honorable Mustafa Idris. He was first Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs. He became Minister for Works and Housing, Minister for Northern Region, blah, blah, blah. And then I approached him and I said, Honorable, my name is Mustafa Hamid. I'm a student of University of Cape Coast. I'm in level 100. He said, hey, what can I do for you? This may sound arrogant, but I said to him, I said, sir, apart from you, I believe that I can speak better than all the people who mounted the platform today. Wallahi. And he said, are you joking? I said, I swear, I can speak better. He said, tomorrow we have a rally at Sabonjira. Come, I'll try you. The next day I went to the Sabonjira rally and they put me on the platform. As they say, the rest is history. So, again, I can relate that Windiya's audacity to approach the minister got her to change her condition. Be audacious. In Ghana, people are afraid to be audacious because they will tag you as arrogant. They will. But forget it. Be audacious. There's a book called 48 Laws of Power. It says, by all means, be audacious. You can correct a mistake made from audacity with more audacity. If you are audacious and you make a mistake, correct it with more audacity. Have you ever heard Donald Trump apologize for anything? Look at what he's going through in America. His popularity keeps going up and up and up. Wallahi, Allah kibada sarauta. Just do your bit. Forget humans. We have made progress. We will make progress in spite of hasada. Don't worry. So, I will end with an anecdote by Jalaluddin Rumi, who is my favorite Muslim Sufi saint. He gives a story, and that story came to my mind when they were reviewing the morning birds. That there were 3 men who were, if you want, suitors to a beautiful lady. They all wanted the lady. But in the course of their, let me use the street word, in the course of chasing her, the girl died. So the girl died, and then she was buried. Then every day, one of the boys, there were 3, one of the boys will visit the girl's father because the father was grieving. So every day, his duty was to go to the father and just keep consoling the father, keep consoling the father. Every day, that was all. He had no work. He was just sitting in the father-in-law who never was, and just consoling him. Then the second guy, he said, I'm going to go on a journey in search of medicine that resurrects the dead. This girl, I must get her resurrected. So he went roaming for years, visiting powerful spiritualists to look for medicine that will resurrect the girl. And then the third guy, every day he will go by the graveside of the girl. He was just lying by the girl's graveside and weeping uncontrollably every day. 3. Now, finally, the guy who was looking for medicine for resurrection, he got the medicine and journeyed back to the village and went to the cemetery and raised the girl. So when he brought the girl home, the father now told her the story of how the 3 guys who wanted her had all behaved and asked her to choose any one of them. I'll just ask the ladies, if it is you, which one will you choose? The one who resurrected you. Now, according to Jalaluddin Rumi, the girl chose the one who was weeping by her graveside every day. Why? Because the girl said to her father, you see the guy who was with you every day and consoling you, he was behaving like a good son-in-law. So he was not behaving as a lover, he was behaving as a son-in-law. I'm not looking for a son-in-law, I'm looking for a lover. So he's out. The guy who went on a journey for knowledge was just behaving like a scholar trying to unravel a research that resurrects people. That's not what I'm looking for. The one who was lying by my graveside and crying every day for my love was looking for love. I'm looking for a lover. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
MashaAllah. So you all agree with me when I said his speech will be the climax of the event. I hope you all agree with me. Thank you very much. A round of applause one more time. See, when you have godfathers who are scholars, you are sorted. So I don't envy Samiha's husband, lawyer Faisal Sisi. I don't envy him at all. No wonder I see so much in him as well, because his boss is a full scholar. Thank you very much for all the words. Now, I need to acknowledge one of our fathers here. That is in the person of Al-Haji Muhammad Mukhtar Brahma Garkuwan Gabas, and he's also a philanthropist and a businessman. Let's acknowledge him. Alhaj, you're welcome. A round of applause. Thank you very much. Now, I will move straight to the second climax of the event. The moment we've all been waiting for. We've heard individuals who have reviewed the books and those who know her personally and all that they've said about her. But it's time we hear from her. That is the author herself, Hajia Samiha Sulleyman. A round of applause. The applause is low. Please, a round of applause. Thank you very much.
He said I shouldn't cry. So I've decided I won't mention my mother's name, because the last time I mentioned her name, I cried. So, distinguished guests, good afternoon. And thanks to Almighty Allah for this day. I am honored to welcome you to the launch of my books, The Morning Birds and Windiya, the Window Girl. Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid, our special guest of honor, for sponsoring most of my publications and joining us today. Your support means the world to us. To all our special guests, I appreciate your presence and acknowledgement. Thank you to everyone who made this event possible. Thank you to my advisors, Agatha Akonomos, Rubaba Muhammad, Akmi Al-Hassan, and Abigail Esinam Adubo. I really appreciate you all. A deep thanks to my Habibi, Lawyer Faisal. For your endless love and support, your encouragement, is a chandelier of light that guides me. To my dad, Alhaji Sulleyman, and my mother, Hajia Zainab Haruna, your love and prayer have shaped my journey. Thank you for nurturing my dreams. Writing books has been a journey filled with joy, reflection, and a deep sense of purpose. An Arab man once said, "Turidu an tas'adu sullamun najah la budda an tata'allam." To climb the ladder of success, you must endure pain. This speaks to the heart of determination and perseverance, qualities that have been integral to my journey. Let me share a story about Windiya, a character close to my heart. Windiya is, and in many ways, a reflection of myself. Her dedication to education and her relentless pursuit of dreams, regardless of the circumstances, mirrors my own experiences. My journey began on my first day in school. I was a little child watching children in my neighborhood go to school each morning. One day, without bathing, I decided to go to school myself. I walked into a nearby school determined to learn. That was the moment my parents realized my passion for education and decided to officially enroll me. This determination, this drive to push forward despite any obstacle, has been the cornerstone of my life and my work. As I moved forward in my educational journey, there was another pivotal moment. After completing junior high school, I was placed in Accra High School, but my heart was set on GLACE, Ghana Lebanon Islamic School. I told my father about my desire, and he promised to check if we could afford it. At that time, private schools were way more expensive than government schools. My father visited GLACE, and I guess he loved the school, especially how the girls were dressed. He brought home the receipt from school fees and showed it to me. Then he said something that left me in awe. Their school fees is very expensive, and I truly want this school. Be rest assured, you will pay my money back. My jaw dropped, and I asked him how I could possibly pay it back. He replied, "You can only pay back by learning hard and coming out with flying colors." Those words stuck with me, especially during my time in senior high school. While in school, I knew I had a debt to pay. I stood by my promise. I made my dad work hard. Today, everything makes sense to me. At every stage of my life, his words have stayed with me, guiding and inspiring me to push forward. Thank you. I said I won't cry. Where is my daughter, Safura? She told me, "Mommy, are you sure you will not cry?" I dedicated this book, Windiya the Window Girl, to 3 important people in my life: my husband, my father, and my mom. My dad lost his parents, both parents, when he was a child. While he was still a child, sadly, I don't know any of my paternal grandparents. I don't know how he managed to acquire all the knowledge he has, regardless of his situation. During the excitement of new school term, my mom would eagerly rush to the school to settle our school fees promptly. She would playfully remind us, let's keep this between us for now, as she delightfully saved the money Dad gave her for the next term. My mother has never been in school, but her dedication beautifully reflects my mom's commitment to ensuring we receive the best education possible. And if you know my siblings, you will see that these parents, we are 6, and none of us did not get both tertiary and then Islamic education. And it takes dedicated parents to raise such amazing kids. And I applaud my parents for that. I truly admire my husband's deep commitment to education, not only for himself, but also followed by Samiha Sulleyman. A spark of adventure glows, a bridge of words put together to help us grow. Through windows of wisdom so wide, we see past full of grace. In every story told is truth about reality that lasts. With Windiya, we learn to see strength, hope, and determination. The wonders of our history that needs to be told. The morning birds, they sing their tune to sympathize with the orphan child. Through stories told and voices, hearts commune. In today's world, with screens so bright 24/7 in the eyes of children, where children see both day and night on screen, evil, indoctrination they consume, negativity so easy to find on screen, but positive stories like Windiya the window girl, Who Pays My Mom, Rabbita Kingdom, Jojo and the Toothless Boy, and the Morning Birds can uplift the minds of the young ones. It's our duty, it's our responsibility, it's our role, so clear and true, to bring them tales that helps them through life's journey. Positive books and tales, they share our ways and our beautiful culture, teaching good morals and manners, bright as day. Inspirational characters like King Samad, Queen Safina in Rabbita Kingdom, Jojo in Jojo and the Toothless Boy, Windiya in Windiya the Window Girl, Mary in the Morning Birds, and not to forget Mami Salah and Mira, both brave and kind, leave their lessons in our mind. The stories we tell bind us near and far, uniting hearts just as we are here. Through each page, our cultures thrive. In every tale told, we stay alive. So let us read, let us learn, let us tell the stories that we know well. So in each tale, a lesson is found. And in each book, we are glory bound. To shape young minds, to help them read, to help them grow, and to help them lead. In every story, plant a seed. Weed negativity and feed them with positivity. A seed that germinates into love, kindness, hard work, determination, and nobility and creativity. Thank you all for being here today and for making this moment so special. Let's enjoy the rest of the day, and may we continue to find joy and inspiration in the stories we share. Thank you.
Please, another round of applause to her, because she did promise she's not going to cry, but she did. So for me, I always believe that anytime I see her at a book launch, she's yet to disappoint me by not crying. But I'm sure with time, when she passes the baton to the child who was asking, you know, children who ask questions have things they want to look up to. So one day she will be her supporter. That's why she was asking of her. I'm sure very soon it will get to a stage where our author will speak without crying. I don't know whether I can call it a crying author, but that will be. Thank you very much. She's so wonderful. Quickly, I need to acknowledge the gentleman behind my costume. If you see what I'm wearing, it was done elegantly by Arewa Textiles. You can find them at Accra New Town. And as I was standing out there, someone was asking me, Arewa Textiles, and you can read them. They have a very simple number. It is 026666. The 6 is 3, followed by 5553 again, and then 23. So 026665523. They are located adjacent to the Kotobabi police station. They will make you look elegant, sweet, and beautiful. Thank you very much, Arewa Textiles. We also have our media partners, HAFIZ TV. You can follow their page, and everything that is being, or everything we're doing here, you surely get opportunity to see, except of it. And mostly they go live, but today he says he wants to capture every moment. That is why he wants to have a post-production. So don't worry, you can follow their page, HAFIZ TV, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Now they say Twitter, huh? They've been saying Twitter. I don't know. And X, the other one is now X, eh? Is the Twitter that's now X? Oh, okay, now it's X. I don't know why he chose the name X, but we'll get it later. He has a lot in stock. But thank you very much. Quickly, I have one poet who is a young lady, and I'm sure some of you have been following on social media. She is Samiha likes this lady in particular, so she asked her to come and do her poem after her speech. This lady is called Hamida Apusiga. A round of applause to the lady. A round of applause. And interestingly, as she's coming on stage, she has one of her favorite books. Here you are. Over to you.
Thank you so much. All protocols are observed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for the great opportunity. My name is Hamida Apusiga Ayub, and I'm popularly known as Apusiga the Poet. And it's a great pleasure to stand in front of you all today. Today is my second time meeting our special guest of honor and our chairperson, and I'm privileged for that. But before I proceed to read the wonderful poem in this book, I'd like to give you a short story. I have heard of stories that have preceded ages, written on millions and thousands of pages. I have heard of stories. Story of a beautiful creature, feminine in nature. But I would like to begin with the story of this woman, Zenzila Miriam Makeba, was a South African singer and a civic rights activist known for becoming the first African to globally popularize African music. Not only that, she was part of the Black people's struggle for liberation and defeated the integrity of African identity and artistry, whilst leaving absent the land of her ancestral. Miriam Makeba was expelled by the South African government after they realized that she was a threat to their government, and she was a woman. Miriam Makeba later came back to South Africa after Nelson Mandela became the first Black president. This was a woman that even in the face of adversity, she never gave up. Even in the face of struggle, Miriam Makeba never gave up. Woman, your strength is a legacy that goes to thousands of generations. From the seed of Hawa to the obedience of Maryam. It conveys the affection of Princess Diana, the legacy of Nana Khadija, the wife of the Prophet, the empathy of Fatima, and the resilience of Miriam Makeba. And this can also be found in the wisdom of Samiha Sulleyman, the intelligence of Samiha Sulleyman, the hard work of Samiha Sulleyman. Woman, you did it back then, and you can do it again, and again. Thank you so much. I want to use this great opportunity to read the wonderful poem in this book, The Morning Bird. Yeah. I had a beautiful life that other children only dreamt of. I have never known suffering until now. I have never known hunger until now. I have never known pain until now. I have never known loneliness until now. I always thought life was totally rosy. Life put me through a trial. Life took away the most beautiful part of my life. Life took my mother away from me. Life taught me to endure unbearable pain. I was left alone in this world. Alone in this world. My mother was the kindest woman in my village. She loved children and animals. She fed them with love and treated them gently. Today, my mother is gone. And I have become a burden to society. How come no one can love me like my mother loved other children? I was maltreated by my mother's sisters. Everyone tended to look at Auntie Jonah angrily. I thought I lived in a community where everyone loved and cared about everyone. But everyone only cared and loved about themselves. When my mother died, that was when I thought I had many loved ones. They all came to console me. They assured me that I will be fine. When she was buried and gone, they all left. They forgot their promises. And no one cared about my education. No one cared about how and what I eat. I never knew that the dead could do better than the living. I never knew the dead could do better than the living. I have never been living in the cemetery for 3 months. No one cared. I was happier with the dead than living. No one looked for me because no one cared. Sadly, because my mother's grave glows, everyone is pretending they care. Everyone felt guilty as tears filled their eyes. My mother took care of these birds. These birds are taking care of me today. If animals can love and care more than humans, if animals can have compassion, while humans have heart of stones, then I prefer to live in the animal world. I prefer to live in the animal world. I thank God for bringing Mami Salah into my life. She is the only one who can love and treat orphans with dignity. I call on to the world to support her. And it is not our fault that our parents died. Indeed, it is not our fault that our parents died. Thank you so much. This is a wonderful poem in the book of the Mourning Birds, and I pray that all of us will get it for our children so they can learn poems and many more. Thank you so much. Apusika the poet, always. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow. Please, another round of applause for the lady. Okay. We've got to the action of the day, but it is only fair I give the man behind the talent we have, that is our author. In her speech, she did ask herself, this man survived to take care of her because he himself lost his parents at a very young age. But alhamdulillah, he himself is a scholar, and it would be unfair for us not to hear from him. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a very big round of applause to the father of the author, Al-Hajj Sulleyman.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyil ummi, صاحب الشفاء في فصل القضاء وعلى الله قصد السبيل ولا حول لنا ولا قوة لنا إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Before I turn a word, it will be an episode of what the audience, the people here, what they have just done. And again, there is one man here that I cherish so much. I'm not even happy he made a speech. Meanwhile, he should have stayed calm, quiet, tranquil, without even saying a word. Why do I say this? Human beings have 5 senses. A human being can lose all the senses, remaining one, the sense of touch. But still, we can make a story about that person. Meanwhile, there will be people around him, those who will feed him, those who bring information how to keep him alive all his life. And the reason why I said this, I owe a lot to Dr. Mustafa Hamid. He shouldn't have even uttered a word. His presence alone here says a lot of things because he's a popular figure, people know him, and he can come here. Still, we shall talk about his being present here for his quietness. And again, he made some speeches about his infancy, which I saw is just some little thing compared to the life that I have gone through. Meanwhile, I lost my parents when they were very young. I used to follow people who were gambling. I put the table of gambling on my head until there are hair lice in my head. When my mother came, she cried. And she was then the richest woman in that village. She said those people I was following, she could have employed them so that they would work for her. But because she wouldn't have time to stay there and take care of me when I was a child. But by God's power, she left me and she was staying in the south, I was in the north. Things were very hard over there. But I was able to survive through this way of livelihood, what I've experienced from childhood. I cannot say that. If I say them, many people will weep. But I was able to survive, and by love of education, my father is a Quranic reader. The whole Ghana, they know him. During those days, people don't cram Quran by heart, but he was able to learn the Quran from one man called Malam Foti from Suhum. He's the Imam, one of the Imam of Suhum. And he writes the Quran by heart with his hand. So I have the best handwriting in Quranic writing because I was following my father. And I stand second to none in the school. Because when my mother came, she has to call a policeman to send me to school. And when she was sending me, the policeman took me on his shoulders. When I reached near the school, I told him to bring me down. I looked very rustic, very dirty, my hair lies, a lot of things. But you'll be surprised, it took just a few weeks, there was an exam, I became second. I still have my mates, they are alive. One of them is Jaula's brother. He's called Dankasa Harun. If you ask him all these stories, he will tell you. Jaula is dead, he would have told you much about him. There's one man called Jackson, working at the BNI. We came to meet at the secondary school. Then he was telling Jaula that Alaji is my classmate when we were in secondary school. And then we have a term called easy. What do you mean by easy? It means when we write English, he will finish. Before he finish, I finish. I say easy. Then Mubarak, that's his brother. He was my classmate. After I left North, I came to Konongo when my mother died. I was very young. So Mubarak was my classmate. I could not speak Twi and other languages apart from English. So when we're in class, if there is something I'll finish, then I'll say Victor. Then he says Conqueror. It means he will also come second after I finish. So we were calling each other Victor and Conqueror. So this is how my educational background started, and my love of Arabic also started from Mubarak's father. So I left Konongo to Islamic Secondary School because a lot of troubles coming from Konongo, so I have to leave. So my father then was alive that time. He didn't have enough money, but I was able to pay my fees, which was about 33 cedis that time. Only the rich people could pay that fee. And I was the only Zongo man at Islamic Secondary School because of my love for Arabic studies. So when Mubarak left to Kuwait, I have to follow him. He had a scholarship, so I have to follow him through my own way. I followed businessmen, I got small money, I traveled to Europe. From Europe, I went to, I met somebody, and then he said, where you are going, if you go there, they will kick you like a dog. I was chasing Mubarak to Klagenfurt. That was in Austria. So I just made a journey just like that. I went to Rome. I met a Ghanaian who said, why are you here? I said, oh, I'm going to spend my summer holidays. He was very surprised. Summer holidays by this time? If you get there and you don't get any job, they will kick you like a dog. So he's traveling to Bologna. I have to follow him because of the advice he gave me. So we went. On our way going, he was telling me about Europe. Then we went to Bologna, from there to Florence. From Florence, I went to Venice with him. From Venice to Padova. So this is how I started. I said, look, you have the Arabic background. If you go to Europe, you will not be able to do. You are very weak, you can't do anything. So you have to go to Arabia. I will buy a ticket for you so that you continue your journey. So he bought a ticket for me. So I came to, he sent me to the train station and told me you are going to Zagreb, from Zagreb to Belgrade. So he asked me to repeat the same thing. I said, well, From here, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Belgrade. See, you have to learn everything by heart. I had an atlas in my hand. He got the atlas and threw it away. You have to learn everything by heart. So I said, okay. From here, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Zagreb. Yes, he said, now we are learning. So I went to Zagreb. It was too cold. I have to leave the place immediately and board the train again to Belgrade. From Belgrade, I met an Arab man. From there, he took me with his car. The little money I had, his tie got problem on the way. He took the money and then bought a tie. We continued to Syria. It took us 3 days before we reached Syria. Then we stayed there in Halab 3 days. From there, I went to Lebanon. And Lebanon, I was chasing Mubarak to go to Kuwait because I wanted to be an Arab scholar, but I don't have the scholarship. He had it by chance. So from there, I went to Lebanon, and then I was staying in a hotel, very cheap hotel. You stay in 3 rooms, 2 bedrooms. You stay there. From there, you pay some few lira a day. So from there, every day I go out, I watch the streets in Lebanon, how things were going on. Well, I met a Sierra Leonean boy who said he's staying in Sierra Leone, in Lebanon. As what? He said, a student. I said, will you send me to that school? We went there, and then I saw the mudir. I said I wanted to learn. Then he said, how are you going to learn? Here we don't bring people by heart unless your government will guarantee you. I said, yes. I went to the embassy and told them, then they gave me some prospectus. I filled them, I sent them to the ambassador, and he said, no, we don't guarantee people here unless from the Ministry of Education. I cannot do it here. Then what can I do now? He said, keep them in your box so that they will admit you. So I started attending classes, and it was a Shia institution. So I have to learn. I wanted to use the time and learn. But my aim is to go to Kuwait, because there they will pay you enough money so that you can continue your livelihood. So through this place, I started to study the Arabic. Every day they will ask me, where are the distance? I said, well, we've sent them to the Ministry of Education. They haven't replied yet. I started learning. 1 year, 2 years, no reply. So war broke out in Lebanon. So through this wars, we're studying in the war, bombardments and other things. But we're compelled, because I was stranded. I have to learn and make use of the time. So I wrote a poem called طلبنا العلم في الخطر وفي سلمي وفي خطري. We learn from silm, in terms of peace, in terms of war, we're learning. So Israel will come and bomb and go, we're learning. So this is how it started. So I have to travel to and stay in Syria as a refugee. When I went there, I met Mohammed Hassan, the former chief state protocol. He was the only Ghanaian there in Syria. He said, you shouldn't go back to Lebanon. I will help you to register in the University of Damascus. Since you have your education background in English is good, they will admit you. And you have Arabic also. So he did it. And then they admitted me and published me in the news. So that's how I got to learn Arabic and then have the English. And then besides that, I have French, so je comprends français très bien. I know my colleagues and those who wanted to learn French are here, like Faisal and his boss, they are learning French. So moi je parle français bien, je peux écrire français, ça c'est mon domaine. So this is part of the things that I went through. So I will not say much, just to say something about Samiha. What they are doing is part of me, because I couldn't get enough time, and then people will support me like I supported them. I could have been like Dr. Hamid, or beyond that. because I have the potential to study more and do more. So I thank God that why I said you should have been quiet, without him, Samiha's books wouldn't have gone to this stage. He gave Samiha all the support she needs. And for this, every day in my daily prayer, I say, may Allah raise him to reach the peak of his glory. May Allah let him succeed. All impediments that will disturb him or impede him, may Allah let him pass through.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The book I have is The Mourning by Samiha Sulleyman. And in the name of Allah Almighty, I declare the book, The Mourning duly launched. Thank you.
Imam Hussein, this is the moment you take charge. And it is with my brother, Sheikh Yahya Sulleyman. At-Takbir! They will be in charge of the auctioning. So just get ready. They take over from here, and I'll come back to do the do. Once again, if we have some individuals, unfortunately, we couldn't acknowledge, you bear with us. Probably your name has still not got to me, but if it does, I'll surely acknowledge you. But then remember our media partners, HAFIZ TV, they are doing everything possible to make sure we get every part covered. Very big thank you. So Sheikh, over to you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We begin with the name of Almighty Allah, most gracious, most merciful, the one and only true God, whom all praises is due. I bear witness there is no deity worthy to be worshipped except Allah. Prophet Muhammad is the last and the seal for the Prophet. Peace and blessing be upon his name, the husband and companion. Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon. Alhamdulillah, I'm privileged as a chairperson, doctor. This man is more than doctor, he is working encyclopedia. Dr. Mustafa is working encyclopedia. Time will not permit us to talk a lot about him. But all the time, I tell people when there's a program, we should be the first people to talk before he comes. Other than that, after his speech, wallah, you won't have anything to say again. Whatever he said is excellent. There was a program I was invited, they invited him. I said, Klamofosu Diabo. Politician, what the politician over here? What's the matter for program? Not know I was a mistake. And thank Almighty Allah, I was the first speaker. If I make mistake and say that because it's a politician, he should be the first speaker, that day I'm finished. At-Takbir. At-Takbir. May Allah reward him, may Allah protect his life for us. Today, the book is launched. We are going to do the auctioning. And our sister too, the father is our malam, is our imam, our sheikh. Very wonderful man. And you know, a lot of doctors are here. This is my sheikh. He has 3 books to his credit. Mostly are lunch books. This is my first time launching a book written by a lady. Foreign books. Dr. Aidis Mufti Menk, when he wrote a book, Motivational Movement, I launched it in Ghana here. Hamid, the one who is here, I'm part of them. I'm with them. We sold the books within 2 days, about more than $20,000. So today I know with the doctors and contractors here, we are going to get people to buy. But our doctor, the guest speaker, the guest of honor, first, second is gone. First, second is gone. So now from third going. So the doctors here, the engineers, the businessmen, now it's our turn to show our love to our sister, to encourage them. Because knowledge is important. Knowledge is everything. So Sheikh, and he too is a Sheikh, having mastered from Saudi and a whole lot, both English and Arabic. He's a great man. So he's coming to, with him, he asked me, I'm his student, so he's my Sheikh, to support him so that from the third copy going, the book can be auctioned. And I believe all of you here don't go home without a copy. You know, the story that they will hear from them is worth listening and reading. So if you are here and you know you have money, Allah know you don't have money. Don't tell me about kuti. Go you there every day. If you allow you to say kolum ke back at the kuti. Every day, oh they win car. And then there you get money. Today, kasa mukudi. Yo, ubenyiska. Atakbi. So the third copy is, you know, what say mfanya Benuku, Mr. Faisal lawyer. Kamimana assignment, baby, because time is not with us. Kamimana assignment, binaka waso mame wenechi. Now the natural demo in Asia. He'll call this woman at his back and walk in this room. So that I'll be clapping for him. And today, I won't give him that tax. But I'll give him another tax. 1 week, madam, you are going to sit. He's going to cook for you. May Allah reward you. Amen. May Allah protect lawyer Faisal for us. Very good brother. So the third copy, I want somebody to give me a prize. Our mother too is here. Andani. I believe Andani family there. If you go to their house, the knowledge of the tree of knowledge is in that house. And the knowledge of Islam is in that house. And we have our brother here to the commissioner retired. As for them, Islam, when you go to their house, number one. So the third copy, contact the senior doctor for this is my brother, my chief, my leader. He's a businessman too, he's here. He's a Serki too. Serki Alexander Amanika. I know you hired this, my brother, my senior brother too. First copy, hey, Sheikh Ilbad. This man, English and Arabic, when he's speaking Arabic, like from Saudi Arabia. English too, like the daughter of Queen Elizabeth. May Allah reward you. First copy, what's the talk? Atakbir. First copy, this is a third copy, both. 10,000. Malama, another dollars. Cedis. 10,000 Ghana cedi. Atakbir. Chief Ubaba Kwano, our guest speaker. I told this man, as for him, he's everything. The two copies. One copy, 20,000. Second copy, 20,000. So the third copy, the two third copy, our Sheikh Ilbad, 10,000 Ghana cedi. Any challenger, but challenge, come on, challenge. Emano, when the doctor was speaking about you people, you were crying, say, Bohobium, Mumbabahabium, Mumabaha. 10,000 going. I feel I'm not telling sorry. These are the men. Take me 20,000. 20,000. 20,000. Going for 20,000. Going for 20,000. Chief Director how? The whole Ghana Petroleum. Going for 20,000. Going for 20,000. Going for 20,000. Going for 20,000. Maybe I can't 5. Obia challenger is going going for 20,000. Montrasio, me pet trouble. Montrasio, Mobianco. Don't go. 20,000. Going. 1, going. 2, going. 3, going. 4, going. 5, gone. Atakbir. No, I know books you know from the 4th and 3rd copies. I'm going to what are they? Now, Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam. 3rd copies.
Respected, I think I will rely on already established protocols and would like to appreciate your time that you have spent here so far. We are just trying to end the program, and this is the best part of the program where you'll be going home with copies of these great books written by this outstanding sister of ours. May Allah protect her and endow her with more wisdom to write and impact the society. I just heard of a very important personality who is in our midst here. We say Atakbir before I call the name.
Allahu Akbar.
Atakbir.
Allahu Akbar.
This personality is serving in one of the most important sectors of our economy. That sector, whatever happened in that sector, all of us feel it, even in our homes and on the roads and even in our cars. We may not be able to use air conditions if that sector has some kind of problems there. He's in the person of Al-Hajj Kamel, the director of ICT, the director of IT and security at the National Petroleum Authority. Oha. That's why I'm fishing him out. You can't see him just like that. Director, your boss, we wouldn't ask you to go beyond your boss, but we just want you to follow suit. Alhaji Kamil, if you are there, let the whole people see you here. Where is he?
Alhaji Benjamin say, Alhaji raise your hand small be, small. Alhaji, we beg. Hey, Alhaji no pay himself.
No, we pay himself. Is he thinking about it?
So the 3rd copies, 20,000 is gone. So the 4th copies, Eman wahe. From where? You ever started from 10,000 on? You ever started from? It's 10,000. 10,000. Yeah, the amount. There be no one else, man. And the way I have people no. There be no one else. I pass here. Well, me and here, you man. You are going to charge the person. Okay, the 5th copies. Yes, the person. Next time you say you come here, and we have a Momo number here, in case you don't have cash. Now, our vice, our doctor have made everything easy, cashless system. So we wouldn't be crying no mobile phone. Yeah, but I scanner from. Alhaji. Hey, Alhaji, yes, Alhaji. Alhaji, yes, he say something. The 5th copy. Allah say something, you say something. For the sake of Allah. 10,000. 10,000. Allah mum someone IT. Going for 10,000. Going for 10,000. Papa na watu echibo usemno. The whole dining na yes one of director. $10,000 going. 1 going, 2 going. Hey, conform every petroleum. Mama to bush in Amuntobi. What it going, 10,000 going. Okay, Alaji. Yes, Rabaji Waha. The Mimi Famra. Alaji, you come here. Wapacha untiwe ira chero. Mama sikano wae. Ah? Na mimi sani yeno. Sani yeno. For price sikano bra house we. For price sikano bra. The sixth one, Eman Mungasa, the women should talk now. When you go to watch book or cook kitchen, or such a book, or go to kitchen, cook, take care of the husband, the children, at the same time get time to write. Yes. Mr. Faisal, may Allah reward you. Some paper men, I don't say Muslim men, because if you are a good Muslim, you allow your wife to suffer. Paper, some of the paper men. They push the woman, ask for woman, they should be in the kitchen. They shouldn't do anything. We allow women to work. As doctor said, go and read the Family Structure in Islam by Professor Abdullah, the one who wrote Islam in Focus. They said that we should pay our wives. Because when you hire the servant to work, you pay them. Why don't you pay our wives who carry the babies 9 months, 10 months or more? They suffer before giving birth to these children. And you don't pay them. Chop one, they could be called. Now, 6 cup. Mama, my price. Give me a price.
I've not heard anything from the women yet.
No, the women talk. One doctor was talking about for you people, you were clapping, dancing. Now it's the time for you to dance. Eman Munkaseo. Director. Faisal. Munkasa. Mamusa mami enti enya. Okoye meeting by this college. Who they pay that one sir? Okoye meeting by this college. Went to my basa. Going. Why you people? You people should lock the gate. People are running away. Why? The chairs are becoming empty. I don't know why. Are you sure? Okay. They should. I see they should give the price. I didn't give price. I see they should bring out the price. Someone have taken 10,000. You can say something. I have not mentioned the price. Did I mention the price? No. Did I say something? I didn't say anything. No, I'm not intimidating them. I'm saying that someone have mentioned 10,000. Just bring your price. The 2 copies. No, say something. Don't worry. Feel free. Shake Yaya. They say we are scaring them. Is it true? We are not scaring anybody. Now, face Arankasamba Tobi, Omo Tobi. Give me a price. What's it? Hey. So Kasam to her, I tell me with her. The ladies. Oh, madam, tell us something. You should tell us something. Atakbil, Madam Linda Asante, Deputy Director, National Petroleum, 5,000. Mumba Musamano. Deputy Chief Executive. Oh, mashallah. 5,000. Hey, Kamiyanya trouble. 5,000. Where they going? Gong. Nemo yesikana na mwenyemre. Ni hu sikana table no so. From 5,000. This 7th copy. Hey, why are they? 7th copy. Mudamunka, you just give me a price. Feel free and give me a price. What's it? Okay. Baby, I'm so back again. Price from 5,000 down. Shake. Say my price now.
Please. This especially for mothers. Okay.
Madam Kukua, 5,000. Huh?
Madam Kukua
Ansa, 5,000. Gone. 8 copy. 8 copy. I'm not sorry. Tomorrow, okay, gone, 5,000. Material. Gone, 5,000. The name is Joseph Awin.
Joseph Awin Awan.
Awan.
Director Risk.
Director Risks.
MPA.
MPA. Atakbir. Kamuvua. Yo. Yes, a man of Kohajia, Omushankor Mecca. Uncle Mecca $200. Alaj Muhammad Kudus, 3,000. Alaj Muhammad Kudus, 3,000. Going. Okay, Alaj Mumra. Alaj, even when you wake up, that one cries ladder. 3,000. Going. Go. Scanway. Come on. Minimum. Any a picture and across your history. 3,000. Say about 3,000 at 2 4 boy. Give me price. Just give me price. Kramofo. You know this time we are in the Hijau. Special days. Plenty ladder. Going. Price. So far, man, we are nyai. Dabi enyabako omye miensa. Linda nikukua. Omkwa na bomo yamba. Dabi papa bia batrecha omanumra. Omo nama bag nketenketen she omo moto omo no tikankwa na yemuma. Madam Gertrude Bishu. Head protocol. MPA 2000 Atakbir. Mana wo de bra baje for ho fa no bra ha. Baje wo hanye ntwa picture o bra. Wo fa wo de yesewa, wo de yesewa. Yesrew. Oh baje. Ya ayade. Come ayade. Mo picture madam mi nya bote o fa ska madam jira si yesrewa. Picture for munjan tentem. Na mama no on pese ogina ha. How are they? Na mi share mama. Why? I feel na bakawa se no bra.
The one for the check 5,000.
The one?
Who paid for the check? That's
Cook answer 5,000. Okay. 11th copy. Special one. You see about 2,000 layo. At 2 4 by at 2 4 bo. 2,000. Why are they? Your name? Abdul Latif going. 2,000 going. Head research. If you corner. So have you taken a picture? See research, head of research. So what's the problem?
Research, maybe I should have done the forward.
No, you are not the one who did the prayers yesterday.
No, I wasn't the one.
Okay. Going for go. 2,000. After the mobile. Another 2,000 is to 4 2012. Your name? Abbas. The same house. Mobile. 2,000. Going for 2,000. Take pictures when I also here. Going go. 13 copies. Lawyer Hanifa, have you given her the books? Take. You come now.
and Ilham issue
1,000. The 1,000 million now, catch them. 1,000 million now, kind. You have the name. Have you given the book?
No.
2 copies. Okay, 1,000. Aja. The ladies. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, sir. Ciao. Hello. I'm going to lock the gate. Anybody who take away will buy the book. Now we come to 1,000. Let us come to 500. Now we have come to 500 column. Oh, don't call me. 500, don't call me. 500, don't call me. 500 more. Hey. Hey, another woman. Hello. Oh, mashallah. 500 not 200. 200. Oh, okay. Momo. Sheikh Bonomano. 026. What in Nkasa Ochiro? 200. Awanje.
Zongo Pania.
200. Abdul Basit Zongo Pania. Pioneering what? Zongo. Sheikh. Ira. Hart. Mariam. Rebecca. All from C Secretariat. MP. 800. And your mom. 200. Okay. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Saso. Professor Kanabra. Kubra for the more religious. Aya there. Kubra 200 last copies. Mufani akanamra we yenye mufola almufambra yebaton sa. Ya Anthony ya rapuno. Amufa books number ye. The account. Kubra that pay. Balinda. Deputy Chief Executive. 200. Hamid. Cow. Just take 2 copies for him. Man 2.
Windiya, the window girl, will be a big inspiration to our young girls who are disadvantaged. And as the special guest of honor said, poverty should not deny us access to education. We need to persevere and find various ways of getting ourselves educated. That's the only way we can get ourselves out of poverty. The craving of our young girl led her to use an orthodox means to get the education that she prayed for, which I believe will be an example and good inspiration to our girls. I'd like to thank you all for your cooperation and for helping me steer this affair for successful and alhamdulillah. Thank you.
HAFIZ TV, unique every day.